Good morning, everyone, to our audience here at PAX in Seattle, and also on Twitch. Welcome to day 3 of the ESO headquarters. I'm Gina Bruno. I'm one of the community managers, and behind me is some of the ESO team. We'll be starting this morning with an encore performance for the which one is it? Inside. Thank you. Inside One Tamriel. After that, at 11:30 Pacific time, we'll be getting into the first day in One Tamriel, getting into a little bit more of the details, like itemization changes, so you'll be sure and want to watch that. And then this afternoon, we'll be doing an Alliance War roundtable, and also a dungeon race, and much more. We have our schedule on the website, so be sure and check it out. But in the meantime, we'll let these guys kick it off with One Tamriel.
Thanks, Gina.
You're welcome.
Hey, everybody.
She sounded weirdly aggressive. You're welcome.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rich Lambert. I'm the creative director, and I'm here with Mike Finnegan, dungeon lead, and Philip Draven, who's our lead systems designer.
Thank you.
And we're here today to talk a little bit about what One Tamriel is. Before I jump into that, though, I want to give everybody kind of a quick update as to where we are and kind of what we're doing. So, first and foremost, the game is in a really good state right now. You know, at E3 we announced we had over 7 million players. That number has gone up, a large part due to launching in Japan, as well as a lot of returning players coming back and seeing the things we're doing. Next week, September 9th, we have the Gold Edition launching. So that is base game plus the 4 major DLC. I'm looking at you because you're going to correct me if major being the dungeon one, but the Gold Edition...
4 of the 5 major.
Yes. So the Gold Edition comes with Imperial City, Orsinium, Thieves Guild, and Dark Brotherhood, all in one bundle. In addition, we have the Guilds and Glory pack, which you can find in the Crown Store, which is just that bundled 4 DLC. And now is really the best time for you to get in and play the game. But we're here today to talk about One Tamriel and what that is. And this is kind of the next big evolution of the game. In the core change that we're making here is we're removing that arbitrary level restriction on zones. You know, right now the game kind of tells you where you can and can't go based on your level, and that's gone. So you can explore the game, go anywhere you want to go, and play the content in any order you want to go. In addition, we're removing the alliance restrictions. So now, you know, when you choose your alliance, that's the team that you're playing for in Cyrodiil. You know, it's really going to change the way you group and socialize in the game going forward. You know, you can group with whoever you want, whenever you want. You don't have to worry about, you know, I'm too high level to play with this person, or I'm just a returning player. Everybody else is so far ahead of me. You know, you can just play the game, group up, and have a great time. The way we've kind of gone about doing this and making this change is to emulate a lot of the things that we learned in the DLC, you know, Orsinium specifically, where, you know, the story quests are solo, group bosses, you know, there's group activities there, public dungeons, lots of exploration, you know, and you know, the goal, you know, is so that you can just play the game the way you want, go any way you want to go, and have a great time. In addition to a lot of the changes we're making with One Tamriel, it's no secret that we've wanted to kind of go back and look at Craglorn and restructure that so that it's a little bit more accessible. And so with One Tamriel, the team has gone back and redesigned the zone so that the main story through the zone, or the critical path story through the zone, is now soloable. We've gone and looked at some of the group activities and a lot of the really hard group-gated puzzles and removed those so that a solo player could go through and do those as well. And then a lot of the bigger dungeons, the Rani Zaz, the Shada's Tears, we've rebalanced those so they're more geared towards duo. You know, our goal with this change is that Craglorn is still the place to go if you want to group and have fun, but you don't have to have a group in order to go there. You can just go there, play, explore, and then run into people that are also doing activities there as well. So I think we're going to see a lot more people go in there, a lot more people get to experience the story that they haven't maybe experienced before. Come on in. You can come in. Not interrupting. And I think people are going to be able to go and challenge themselves in here as well. This is still kind of harder content than some of the other zones. So if you want to go in and Iron Man it, oh boy, I see a Joe Blackburn walked in.
Show's over.
Show's over? I'm done. Walking out, right. So I'm actually going to hand it off to Mike, and he's going to talk a little bit about what we've done with the dungeons and how we're changing those.
Hi, I'm Mike Finnegan, Dungeon Lead for ESO. So part of the One Tamriel update that we wanted to touch on, we wanted to make sure that varying game styles had an opportunity to try out dungeons. So we recognized early on that we wanted to, all this dungeon content is great, but some people might not want to try veteran dungeons or think veteran dungeons are a little bit more difficult, or some people think some of the other dungeons aren't challenge enough. So what we did was we separated the story from the difficulty, and so every dungeon now has a normal and a veteran mode for that dungeon. So dungeons that previously had two different stories as a veteran mode, so Fungal Grotto used to have a normal story and a veteran story. That is now Fungal Grotto 1 and Fungal Grotto 2, and there's a normal and a veteran version of each one of those. When we did that and created a new veteran mode, we also had a need for more monster masks. So there are 16 new monster masks in the game. They're on PTS right now if you guys want to go take a look at them. And that should be, we want to spur on collection and stuff like that so players can take a look. And you're right?
Right. Yep.
All right.
Try not to cough.
Okay. Another key change we did is to the pledge structure. The pledge structure was great, and it kind of got us where we wanted to before, but with the change to dungeons and stuff, we really wanted to branch that out so players can really hone in on the type of gameplay they want. So now you could do up to 3 pledges a day. We also heard the feedback that having a pledge for a really difficult dungeon like one of the ruins, or like Ruins of Maztun or Cradle or White Gold Tower or Imperial City Prison, people would get that pledge and just nope. So we wanted to break that out. So that has the DLC dungeons now have their own pledge giver, and then the other 2 dungeons, Madge and Galarian, are still there, and they still give pledges for a certain amount of dungeons. You can also do pledges in one of 3 ways, so that you can kind of tailor it to what. If you want a key, you just want the key, you can go do it that way. If you want to challenge yourself with veteran or hard mode, you can do it that way as well. So we're going to go, I guess, into more detail on that in a future panel. But
the next panel after this.
Yeah, it's the next panel directly after this. So I'm going to kick it over to Phil to talk about itemization.
All right. Hey, everyone. Philip Draven, lead systems designer. So in approaching One Tamriel, it wasn't just the dungeons, it wasn't just Craglorn. We needed to look at the itemization for the entire game now that it's opened up. The previous paradigm had been to kind of scale things based on the level of the zone, and we wanted to get away from that since now you can go anywhere and do anything at any time. So the combat team took a look at how we were handling our item sets first and foremost, because that's one of the most compelling parts of our itemization, and decided that they wanted to have specific item sets associated with individual zones, dungeons, raids, trials, excuse me.
What are you talking about?
And other locations, so that we had a more consistent approach to how to get those item sets. So when they did that, they took all of the item sets, kind of laid them out across the game, and realized that we still were a bit short of what we would want if we wanted to add 3 item sets per source. So then they went and made 30 new item sets. Brand new, all new mechanics, all new bonuses, and mix them in to the process. So now, if you want to get a specific item set, you go to a target zone and
hold it,
and you can farm for that item set specifically. But that there's more to that than it immediately sounds, because now you don't have sets that are only available at certain level bands or things like that, or even restricted only certain slots. Now almost every item set you can get in every slot, including jewelry, and you can get at every level all the way up to maximum. So you have a lot more versatility there in deciding what kind of builds you want to mix and match with your sets.
And you know exactly where you want to go.
And you know exactly where you want to go to get those materials, those gears.
Yeah, I think that the big thing that people need to understand is we kind of changed our itemization philosophy as well.
Yeah.
It's no longer we just hope, or the player hopes they get a drop. now, you're always going to get that drop, and you're now chasing the perfect weight and the perfect trait, which I think is a seriously huge fundamental change for itemization.
Yep.
Absolutely. And we also went through and improved the quest rewards, as the majority of them did not have any type of item sets associated with them.
They sucked.
They did. And so now a wide portion of them will now have item sets that are also associated with the zone.
Yep.
So you'll be able to start building your set just by playing through the storyline. Yep. So that's exciting. And we went further than that. We wanted to start adding itemization to time-sensitive, special holiday events. And so we started looking at how well received the anniversary events were for the launch and for Imperial City, and we wanted to get even, take it even further. So coming up in October, we're going to have the Witches Festival, which is loosely themed around Halloween, but the Tamrielic version of Halloween. And there will be unique recipes, motifs, special mementos, and
Pumpkin
other collectibles.
spice?
Will you stop with that?
Oh my God.
Every presentation
yeah.
we do this.
Every day.
Yeah,
Scary spice.
if I add it, will you stop asking about it? Because don't push me, man.
This is a weirdly aggressive man.
There were
work
a bunch
together, guy.
bunch of unique rewards, fun rewards. Things that can get into role playing a little bit, things that are unique and thematically based on the holiday, and then that will move into the New Life Festival, which is even a little larger, where there's unique quests that are unlocked across a bunch of different zones, and they also have a set of associated unique rewards. And then obviously as we start these start going live, we're going to be getting feedback from players to see exactly what they like and what they'd like to see more of, so we can continue to improve our events moving forward.
I think part of the holiday events too is also to really cater to the role playing crowd.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of rewards here that are cosmetic and stuff to really get players to.
And it makes the
engage in
world
it.
feel a little more dynamic,
Yep.
where it's not you're not always seeing the same thing
Yep.
every time you go to town. Now you'll start seeing more. And I think Rich is going to talk a little bit about crown crates.
Crown crates, yes. So this is something that is a little bit contentious. People, are a little bit concerned about, what they are, what we're doing, how they're going to change the way they play the game. And I just wanted to kind of go over what they are and how they're implemented in our game. So first off, why? Why did we do this? And our goal with this is to be able to introduce some of the limited time offer things in a way that didn't kind of feel bad to people that already had them. So that's the ultimate goal. We're definitely following the same philosophy that we have with all of our Crown Store stuff, which is do no harm to the game. They're purely cosmetic. They're purely convenience items. So you don't have to worry that if you don't participate in the system that you're going to get shortchanged. So how do these work? I think the biggest thing to note is that they never drop in game. It's purely a Crown Store feature. So you're never going to get a monster that drops a crate and you can't open it.
That you have to buy a key for or anything.
Right, you don't have to buy a key, you don't have to do anything. So you just go to the Crown Store, you purchase one of these, and when you open it, you're always going to get something useful. Either a consumable or an XP scroll, things like that. You're generally always going to get a cosmetic thing. And then in addition, you will have a chance to get something really cool, either a limited time offer mount or something that's completely unique and specific to the Crown Crates.
Specifically.
Specifically, and specifically again. You happy?
Specifically I am.
And we also introduced a feature with this where you can always build towards the thing you want to get. We know that, when you're chasing that one thing and you don't necessarily get good luck and you keep getting the same thing kind of over and over and over, it feels bad. And so if you start to get duplicate items, those are going to turn into crown gems. And then the crown gems, you can go in to a spot on the store and purchase anything out of the crate specifically. I said that on purpose. You like that?
I know you did. It's cool.
So you can go in and you're always working towards the thing you want. If you get lucky, you can get it. If not, you can still work towards that thing you want. So I think that's really important that people understand. Crown Crates will be on PTS, I think, the 3rd or 4th update, so you'll be able to play it, see what it looks like, see how it feels. There's a lot more to One Tamriel, or Update 12 than just One Tamriel. We've talked a little bit about some of this stuff, in previous panels, and yesterday we did some streaming of dueling specifically, but Weapon Ultimates is a big addition. Now every weapon skill line has an ultimate ability, and they work a little bit differently than all our other ultimates in that you have to master the skill line before you can unlock them. And then once you slot that ability, you can't use it unless you actually are wielding those weapons. So, there's some cool play there. And then dueling, that's another big one that we've added, that we've already seen people on the PTS, start to go through and have a lot of fun with.
Yes, they have.
I might have gotten wrecked a few times.
You might have got wrecked.
I might have wrecked Phil a couple of times. But yeah, it's dueling is really cool because, you get to learn your build, learn your rotation.
To practice a little bit.
Practice a little bit of PvP kind of at your own pace and not have to go into Cyrodiil and feel overwhelmed. And so I think people are gonna really enjoy this feature. It's definitely something that you guys have all asked for, a lot.
Help with theory crafting and trying different stuff out.
Yep. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about, dueling and weapon ultimates and, what to expect the first day you log into the game when Tamriel goes live a little bit later on.
Yep.
But for now, I think that covers most of the panel that we want to touch on. If you guys have any questions, Gina, if there's any questions in Twitch, ask away. Excuse me.
Yeah, there's some questions from Twitch. There we go. A few questions from Twitch. Actually, I'll move away from the speaker.
Good call.
Not going to make that mistake again. A few questions for Crown Crates.
Okay.
Loki 537. By the way, that's my ferret's name.
Loki 537?
That's really specific.
You just go through ferrets like.
Gina's like, shut up.
I can't wait to go home. He was asking, will Crown Crates have a reward system? Like if you purchase a certain amount, then you get a special tier prize associated with it.
Yeah, you can buy them in 1, 5, and 15 or something like that.
They're not
and
even
there's a bundle associated with them.
So it's more of a bundle then.
Yeah.
And then another question, where is it? From Dazamataz. Will we know beforehand what exclusives are going to be included in the Crown Crates?
I think so. I know definitely within the Crown store itself, when you look in the gem store section, all of the things that are available in that particular crate will be listed there, so you can kind of see what's in there and work towards it.
Yeah, plan what you want and work towards.
Yep.
We'll probably do something similar like we have for the Crown Store Showcase and maybe do something like
Probably.
a Crown Crate.
That'd be
Yeah,
my
probably,
guess.
Probably. Yeah.
Still talking about it, but we'll see. Chimney Swift, he's in chat. He was asking if
Kicked
we...
my ass yesterday. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I know.
He did, and then he slow played you and still kicked your ass.
It was closer. I almost had him.
He was asking if we have any plans to increase the bank space to accommodate all the new item sets.
We've talked about it.
Yeah, there's no immediate plans, but it's something we want to keep an eye on.
Okay. Somebody else was asking for you, Phil, if we would consider adding the costume headpieces in the collections as a hat.
I think we
Just nose tap. Just nose tap.
nose tap.
Oh, not it.
No.
No. It's something that...
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about, I think we've done it in the past with a couple
Yep.
items when we converted them over to the collection system. But no, there's no specific commitment for any given costume to be converted like that.
Okay. Does anyone have questions here?
No softballs, Joe?
Hey, come on. Are you guys tired?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I feel great.
My voice is a little better today than it was yesterday.
Tired. Yes.
Sorry, I'm trying to read. Will the mounts that are in the Crown Crates ever contain mounts that were previously for sale and then taken off? So I guess
Yeah.
the limited
Like the
time
Jamothra
mounts.
cat.
The ice mare, that kind of
Ice
stuff.
mare,
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that'll give everyone a chance to
Yes.
hopefully
Gives everybody a chance to
get
get
it
that.
again. And then here's a question. I think we got a similar one yesterday. Low grade 84. He was asking if
That's my cat's name.
That's amazing. Do you know if we'll ever be able to repeat quests to go back with their main characters for friends that are new and maybe haven't completed those quests yet?
You can help
Craglorn.
you can help your friends play through.
But like Craglorn,
That's
we
true.
opened up those quest lines again for
Yeah,
players,
specifically in
so-
Crag... God. In Craglorn, yes, we did that. I said specifically against.
Specifically, Cragline. This is very specific.
Word of the weekend.
It's the word of the week. The
But,
password is specifically.
Outside of that, we made a concerted effort to kind of make sure that you could participate in the quest with your friend. Maybe not necessarily redo it, but make sure that, you can go through the doors and
You're not going to get locked out.
You're not going to get locked out
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah. Anything else?
Still reading?
Well, there's a lot of
Think we're good?
questions about like future things and trying
Yeah,
to keep
yeah,
it focused.
yeah.
To
Keep
the-
it focused on
keep
this.
It focused
Keep
to
it focused on one
here.
Tamriel.
Yeah. Okay, here's a good one for Crown Crates again. Is it a guaranteed drop that you'll get a cosmetic item in the Crown Crate, or do you have a chance to get either a cosmetic or a consumable?
So you will always get consumables,
Consumables, yes.
useful consumables, and then there is a really good chance that you will get a cosmetic, and then chances to get other things. I think it's hard to explain like how all the drops work without people actually playing with it. So I think once they're on PTS, you'll get a better idea of how that works and
Yeah.
kind of what to expect.
It's
Yeah.
always a small bundle of different consumables and stuff like that. So
And the Crown Crates will be available to test on PTS. In
Three?
one of the future
Three or
patches,
four, I think?
Three or
something
four,
like
yeah.
that,
Upcoming PTS patch.
upcoming PTS specifically.
Stop it.
No.
Everybody's still not awake yet.
Yeah.
I know, it's still early Pacific time here.
We're good. All right.
Okay. I think we could say we can wrap this up for this panel unless anyone has anything else. We'll stay in Twitch chat, continue answering some questions as we're able there. The next panel will be a little bit more of a deeper dive into itemization and
What
daily
what to
of
do on
inside
day
baseball.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're
Yeah.
gonna
Lots of
see-
inside baseball. You'll like it.
And that'll start at 11:30 Pacific time, so in about a half hour or so. So we'll see you then.
Specific time.
Specifically 11:30.
All right.
Oh, inside jokes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks.
everybody.
Thank you.